Let's quickly go to our reporter, Junior Kumalo, who's been following those proceedings very closely. Junior, we did hear Dr. Nasiphi Moya announcing members of her mayoral committee. It is a mixed bag, including members of the ANC, the EFF, as well as Action SA. Give us a sense of what transpired there.
Indeed, Nhlanhla, we did finally hear that announcement by the mayor, Nasiphi Moya, of her executive. Basically, most of the individuals that constitute this 10-member mayoral committee are from the ANC, as well as the EFF, as well as Action SA. Those are the three biggest parties in this coalition that basically ensured that she becomes mayor of this administrative capital. We are still trying to get a hold of her because she had said that she would be speaking to us, but it's still a lot of celebration in this room given the announcement that was made. But some of the key announcements that were made in Nhlanhla is that of the ANC regional chairperson, Eugene Modise, basically as the MMC for finance. So he has been appointed to a very significant portfolio given the challenges that the city is facing. When the Auditor General basically outlined the finances of the municipalities, the Tshwane Metro basically had a qualified audit outcome, which is not the best of audit outcomes, and the city has been saying that they would want to see a turnaround when it comes to the finances of the city. So he has a tough job going ahead as the new finance MMC for the city, but we do expect also another significant announcement, that of the deputy mayor. We know that the election of the deputy mayor is set for some time this coming week, so we are anticipating who is going to be the deputy mayor, because the expectation had been that the chairperson of the ANC, Eugene Modise, might fill that position of deputy mayor in Nhlanhla.
So, Junior, no surprises as we are not seeing members, for instance, of the DA making up part of this team of MMCs. Of course, no surprises there. Give us your analysis into that.
Indeed, no surprises there, because the Democratic Alliance had indicated that if Celia Brink is not reinstated as mayor of Tshwane, then they are pulling out of any negotiations with any party. So that is why it comes as no surprise that from being the party that was actually leading this executive and also having about 5 MMCs, we did not see any DA MMC announced today. But joining me now is the mayor of the city. Nasiphi, thank you so much for joining us. You had indicated that you wanted to announce the mayoral committee either by Thursday or Friday. Why did it take longer to announce the MMCs?
There was a couple of delays from various political parties, and I think what we then agreed on was that latest by Monday the announcement must be made. Hence we had this awkward time of announcing, because obviously we understood the agency, but we couldn't rush the negotiations as well, so that we have a very smooth start once we do the announcement. So while it was delayed from the initial promise, but it was necessary that we make the announcement today.
And in terms of that deputy mayor position that you previously held, are we still going to see that position being filled in the city?
Yes, the multi-party coalition will nominate a person. I'm not sure if it will be someone who's already, in the MayCo, or we're going to see some changes. But yes, because that position is gazetted, it's now it's a permanent position of the city of Tshwane. So yes, we must fill that position, and likely at the end of this month.
And in terms of the MMCs that you have announced today, mostly from the EFF, mostly from the ANC, what are some of the key priorities? I know you announced some of the key priorities, but what do you want to see them do going forward? I know that the city has been in limbo for a few weeks after the former mayor was removed from the city.
Yeah, so I think first of all, now that we've announced, they must go to the offices and they must assess in their portfolios in alignment to what we said we're going to do, which are some of the things that I've announced today. So that's the first thing. But on Tuesday, we're going to have a MayCo meeting where we are receiving the state of the city report from the administration. So while they do their work in their committees, but there are at least 5 priorities that we must agree on, which will include issues of building our fiscus, the issues of infrastructure development, the issues of basic services, issues of public safety, but obviously the issues of audit and governance issues, because we are basically going through the audit process now. So I can just on top of my head and say those are at a high level 5 priorities that we as the collective must look at. But the city has been, the departments have been without political oversight for 18 days. So the first thing, they must go and deal with the backlog that is in those offices. And then we come together. Once they are settled in their offices, we come together, we chart a path that will be for all of us as a collective.
With the local government elections coming in 2 years, do you think it's enough time that you have as an executive to basically fulfill some of those key priorities?
Definitely. Some of these things need political will, and based on the names that have been given, knowing them, knowing their credentials, their involvement in communities, most of these leaders, they are leaders in their structures, in their political parties. So we're not dealing with junior leaders here. So I'm definitely sure that we'll be able to do so. We're not going to do everything, but the priorities that we'll identify will fulfill those ones, that I'm sure of.
Thank you so much. That is the executive mayor there in Nhlanhla, just saying that 2 years is basically enough time to fulfill some of those priorities that she has outlined. She's outlined about 5 priorities, and she believes she does have enough time, and she believes that the MMCs that she has chosen today basically have the capability and the caliber to fulfill that work in Nhlanhla.